Excited to share with you today the 17 seconds to ultimate success. Because whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford knew what he was talking about, and today we're going to get into the brain science behind this statement. What I've done is I've taken some famous concepts from books like The Magic of Thinking Big and Think and Grow Rich, and I've infused them with brain science because there were so many times in my life where I was trying to succeed in different things that I was doing, but I was kind of stuck and I couldn't quite figure out what I needed to change. And I knew my thinking had something to do with it, but there was a big piece that I was missing. Thankfully, decades later, I finally discovered what that missing piece was, and I'm going to teach it to you today. I hired a famous neuroscientist, Dr. Jeffrey Fannin, to study the brain change process that I created, the scientific method to success. He studied my brain, he studied some of my staff's brain, he studied some of my clients' brains, and what we discovered was that my process changes the brain. It creates the amplitude and the coherence to change the brain, which changes the cellular response, which changes the printout of your life. So if you're looking to change the printout of your life today in any form, whether it's professional success or health and wellness or relationships, you've come to the right place. So when Dr. Fannin studied the brain of one of my staff, Janet, he discovered on the right-hand side that the process I created was creating the amplitude, the energy in the brain to create what you see on the left side, the coherence in the brain, the new pathways in the brain, the communication in the brain that was helping create such great results. So today I'm going to teach you how to create your ultimate success. So there's two ways to succeed. I call it the shovel way or the tractor way. If you want to dig a trench, you can do it with a shovel. But if you want to save a lot of time and a lot of backache, you can use a tractor. So when you're trying to get to your greatest success, you can do it the hard way, the trying way, the writing down your goals, making a game plan, trying way, or you can program your mind for success. Now you still have to take action, but the action is a whole lot easier. Just like when you sit in the tractor, you use the levers and pedals to drive the tractor to do the work. Whereas when you're doing it with the shovel, it's manual back-breaking labor, right? So today I'm going to teach you the tractor method of success, and it has to do with your brain. So your brain literally is the secret to your ultimate success. And today I'm going to show you how to program that brain to support you in what you're trying to accomplish in your life. So I'll also be offering you some free resources because changing your brain is like getting your body in shape. It takes a little bit of time and it takes a little bit of effort. It's not a one and done. You can't watch this masterclass and then all of a sudden you're just programmed for success forever. I'm going to teach you how to change your brain, and then I'm going to encourage you to grab some of my free resources and to keep working on your brain to get it in the kind of shape you want it to be in so that you can achieve all your goals. So my name is Jenny Harkleroad. I'm a #1 best-selling international author. I'm a speaker and a mind change teacher. In my former life, I was a realtor here in beautiful sunny San Diego. I had a team of buyer's agents and secretaries, and we were producing double digits in the millions. I had the houses and the cars and the travel and all that fun stuff. But my greatest claim by far to fame are these sweet people. My husband, we've been married almost 27 years, Dusty. Our son, Josh, she's 15, and Jessica, she's 21. Ashley, she's 18, and Rebecca is 24, and her sweet husband, Taylor. And these guys are why I do what I do. I love helping people program their mind, and I love helping my family program their mind for success. I love being the kind of wife and the kind of mom that I always wanted to be. I tried to be before, but it didn't always work out so well. I had a few flaws, let's say. I had maybe a bad temper, a couple things going on with me that I was able to change when I reprogrammed my mind. And so this family is so much happier now because when the mom is happy, everybody's happy, so they say, right? So I'm happy to share them with you today. And today, professionals hire me to reprogram their mind for success and teach them how to program their mind for success, because so many are stuck in mind chatter and self-sabotage and limiting beliefs. So I help them set up a new automatic operating system. It's simple and it's powerful and it's effective, so they can accomplish their goals. And what do most want? More money, more time, more freedom. Any of that sound good to you? Absolutely. Some of you might be struggling with technology in your business, right? It's a fast-paced technological world. Are you up on all the different social medias, and do you know how to create the funnels and all the things you need to do to have a successful business? Are you good at marketing and technology? Some of you might be struggling with not knowing where to get your next client, right? You're a little bit worried about, is the money coming in? Do I have enough money to cover the bills? Was this really a good thing to do to start a business? Maybe some doubt, some fear. Many of you are concerned about what's going on in the world. It is a crazy world out there, right? Between the politics and the race and the pandemic, and oh my gosh, there is a lot happening out there. And so how do you stay in a peaceful, balanced, and successful state of mind with all that going on? Well, I'm going to teach you today how you can use your brain as the key for your greatest success. It truly is the secret, and it's right between your ears. And I'm going to teach you how to program your mind for success today. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a psychologist. I didn't learn this stuff in school. Unfortunately, I learned it in kind of a difficult way. It was August 10th of 2013. I was standing on this mountain ledge with my husband, and he completely innocently said, if I was young and in shape, I would jump off of here. And, you know, I thought I was young and in shape, and so I jumped. And when I landed, I heard a crunch in my back and I couldn't move. And our friends were with us. They tried to get me up, and my husband tried to get me up, and I was not budging. Something was seriously wrong. And so they ended up calling 911, and 911 sent in a ground crew. And when this ground crew couldn't get me up, they called for a helicopter. And so the helicopter came, and that's me. I'm in a basket, and there's a doctor attached to me, and the helicopter is zip lining us up to that helicopter. And I remember that day. It was a rough day. It was especially rough when I got to the hospital and they told me that I had broken my back. No wonder I couldn't get up, right? And so when you break your back, you get some thinking time. And that wasn't very easy for me because I was a busy mom. My kids were a lot younger back then. And I had this big real estate company going, and I just didn't know how to be bedridden. It was really rough. And I wanted to get better, and they told me I would get better. That was the good news. I wasn't paralyzed. They said it would just take some time. And it did take some time, a lot more time than I had hoped. I tried all the natural methods to heal. And after years of doing that, when I still couldn't function, I decided to have major surgery. This is my back. They put in rods and screws and a synthetic disc. And I thought that would be the answer, but it wasn't the answer. And so after that, they prescribed all sorts of different pain pills. And the good news is the pain pills are dumped in my garden. And the reason they're dumped in my garden is because I met this guy. This is Dr. Warren Jacobs, medical doctor. And he told me I could reprogram my mind and get out of pain. I thought he was crazy. It's not my mind, it's my back. However, I was desperate, and so I tried it. And guess what happened to me? 6 sessions later, I call my best friend, and we go down to Mission Bay in San Diego, and I'm doing handstands and back bends and yoga tricks, because not only can I sit and drive and walk and function without pain, I have no limitations besides the metal that's still in my back. What an amazing day. I couldn't believe what just happened to me. I became obsessed with the power of the mind. And so today I'm going to teach you about the power of the mind and how you can put this power to work for you. And first, I'm going to teach you something called the 17 seconds to success. And if you implement this in your life, it could absolutely transform your life starting right now. So here's how it works. You have a thought. It's an electrical signal in the brain. That's it for 17 seconds. But if you hold the thought longer than 17 seconds, it becomes a chemical reaction within your body. So you start to feel equal to the way you're thinking. So pretty soon you're thinking your feelings and feeling your thinking, and it's a feedback loop. Now, once this continues, you start to attract like thoughts, stories to prove to yourself why what you're thinking and feeling is true. And then if it goes on for 68 seconds, just over a minute, it changes your energy field. It changes your vibration. It changes what you manifest and what you attract into your life. So if you have a negative thought about anything or anyone, guess what happens? If you don't change that thought, you start to feel that, you start to have stories about that, and you change your reality to match what you're thinking. This is happening, it's scientific. And so how do you undo that? How do you change that? Well, you got to stop the thought. You got to think, how would I rather feel? And what action could I take to feel that way instead of this way? You got to remember that you're just narrating the story in your head of your life playing out. And if you don't like how the story is going, you just have to change the narration. So we're going to talk more about this today. And this is a technique you can use to help your conscious mind stay on track. However, we're going to spend most of our time today talking about the subconscious mind because it's a million times more powerful than the conscious mind. However, the conscious mind can throw it off track with this stinking thinking. So get rid of this stinking thinking in less than 17 seconds so it doesn't turn into your reality. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how we literally are creating our reality by what we think. And he says that if we really believe that, we would never let a negative thought stay in our mind. We would definitely not let it come out of our mouth, right? We would spend every moment, every focus creating the reality we do want instead of what we don't want. So remember that. Think more about what you do want and think often about what you do want. So next, I'm going to teach you the 3 secrets to creating ultimate success. Secret number 1 is that you have 2 minds. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, according to scientists like Bruce Lipton, PhD cellular biologist, is 1 million times more powerful than your conscious mind. So if you compare your conscious mind to the power of Niagara Falls there in the picture, and you compare your conscious mind to the boat, where's the power? Which one is more powerful? Well, there's no question, right? It's Niagara Falls. So if you think of your 2 minds, your conscious mind, your decision-making mind, what you want in your life, how you want things to be, and your subconscious mind, your programmed mind, how things are going to be, what you believe and what you perceive and what you can achieve. So imagine putting those 2 up against each other. Which one is going to win? Niagara Falls is going to win every time. It's just more powerful, period. And that's how your subconscious mind is. And so what we've got to do is we've got to understand that we have these 2 minds and figure out how they're playing out in our life and how they're either helping us in our success or pulling us back from our success. So secret number 2 is that you were programmed. So when you were a kid, your brain was in theta state from about 0 till about 8 years old. And it was in this programmable state so that whatever you experienced could become your program so you could survive the world. However, we go through hard things in our life And we see things that we shouldn't see, and we hear things we shouldn't hear, and we're told things we shouldn't be told, and things happen to us that shouldn't happen. And we go through all these traumas and dramas, and unfortunately, all the programming we get isn't positive. And so when we pick up these negative programs, it's this battle. Remember Niagara Falls against the boat? It's this battle where you want something, you really want it, but for whatever reason, it's just not working out. And that's because of that power of the subconscious mind. So you can be mad at mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, church, school, teachers, community, friends, siblings, whoever it was, until you discover secret number 3, which is you can change your programming. You don't have to be stuck with the program that you got. You can literally reprogram your mind like you can reprogram a computer. So the only question is, are you willing to? Are you willing to change the story? Are you willing to create a new reality in your life? Well, if you are, keep listening because I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing you need to do is you need to open your brain bridge. It's called a corpus callosum. It runs between both hemispheres of your brain. And when you're born, there's 200 million neural connections between these two hemispheres of the brain. And the older you get, the more that superhighway turns into a brick wall. And so what we need to do is we need to open that brick wall and let both hemispheres of the brain communicate. It's called coherence in the brain. You want your brain, all the different parts of it, communicating with ease. And you want to be in what we call a whole brain state. You don't want to just be in an emotional state or just be in a logical state. You want to use your entire brain, because then when you look at things, you can do so in an open and curious way. And then we call it a whole brain state. And so somebody who's in a whole brain state would wonder, oh, why would you say that? Tell me more about it. Somebody who's not in a whole brain state, somebody who's just set in their ways, would think somebody's wrong, didn't like what they had to say, a little more stubborn, that type of thing. Maybe holding grudges, right? We want to be peaceful, loving, open, forgiving, understanding. And these things all come when you program your mind for success and you get into that whole brain state. So you can literally change your reality. You can literally change what you see when you look out of your own eyes. And I can tell you that from experience, because as I reprogram myself and I teach people how to reprogram themselves, and I work with clients and certify people in my work and teach teachers how to teach my work, all of a sudden they tell me how much their reality changes. And so what happens is that you have this reticular activating system in your brain that notices what you tune it to notice. Now, I'll give you an example. If you buy a new car, all of a sudden you start to see that car on the road. Why? It was there before and you didn't notice it. Well, now it's in your perception, it's in your awareness. And so when we help you program your mind for success, the same type of things happen. And even though your life may not change looking at it, it might look the same to others, it's going to look and feel completely different to you when you change your perception. So how do you do it? Well, first you have to know what you want. So many times in life, we know what we don't want, right? We don't want to get sick. We don't want to run out of money. We don't want to get divorced. We don't want all these things that don't sound too fun, right? Sound pretty negative. But what do we want? So we're going to write some positive type affirmation statements, but we're not going to say them because we're dealing with the subconscious mind. If you say a positive affirmation, it's a conscious mind exercise. It's like the shovel to success, right? You got to remember again, you got to remember again, you got to keep saying it, you got to remember, right? You're trying to get that programmed into you. Well, there's an easier way to program it into you, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. So what do you want different in your life? So I've come up with some examples for you. These are some things you might want to program yourself for. So if you look at these 15 statements, some of them have to do with professional success. Some of them have to do with relationships. Some of them have to do with health and wellness. So what I'd like you to do is pick one of these, or if you don't see one that you like, come up with your own. What statement do you want to program into your subconscious mind? Now, when we do this, we want to make sure it's positive and present tense, like it already exists in your life. The subconscious mind is timeless. So when we program it into the mind, like saying it already exists, then all of a sudden the brain is like, oh, this already is like this. Okay, let's make it happen, right? And it goes to work creating this reality for you. So grab one of these statements. Which one speaks to you? I'm going to talk about number 4 because I think that as a whole in the world, I run into a lot of people that don't feel worthy or don't feel deserving. Now, they either know they don't, they'll just tell you, I don't know, I think I have a worthiness issue, right? I used to be told things when I was young that I wasn't worthy or didn't deserve it, and it kind of stuck with me. There's other people like me who thought, oh, for sure I'm worthy and deserving. But then in our process, we use applied kinesiology muscle testing to figure out what the body knows and what the body believes. And I didn't pass any of the tests with these positive affirmations. My body, my subconscious was saying, no, you do not believe you're worthy or deserving. So whether you think you are or you think you're not, you may need this goal. So it would be a good one to choose if you want to for this next exercise. I'm worthy and deserving of success. So how do we do it? How do we help you believe this? How do we program this into your brain? It's really simple, actually. I'm going to teach you today the most simple process I have for programming the mind for success. So you're going to cross your arms and set your hands on your shoulders, and you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to repeat the goal silently for about a minute. So I'm going to set a little timer on my phone, and we're going to do it right now. I'm worthy and deserving of success. You're going to be saying that, or whatever goal you choose to program into your subconscious right now. Go ahead and start. Right. When you're ready, you're going to uncross your arms and you're going to recross your arms so the other hand is on top. And you're going to close your eyes and you're going to repeat the goal again for another minute. I'm worthy and deserving of success, or whatever your goal was that you chose. Keep repeating it silently for another minute. So when you're ready, you're going to uncross your arms and you're going to hold your fingertips together like this. And you're going to close your eyes and repeat the goal silently again for another minute. I'm worthy and deserving of success. Good job. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. So now your brain is literally programmed for success. Yeah, it can be that easy. So what do you do when your brain is programmed for success? What do you do when you just built this new pathway in the brain? You want your brain to use it, right? You want it to be your new automatic. Well, what you have to do is you have to take action, right? So if somebody programmed their mind to be an Olympic athlete, well, you still have to practice, right? You can't just program yourself and then go try out for the Olympics. You have to physically train. If you want to be very successful financially, you still have to do the work. If you want to have great relationships, you still have to interact with people and spend time together and have good communication, right? But the difference is your perception and your automatic. That's what's going to change. And if you programmed yourself for feeling worthy and deserving of success, you're going to start to feel that way. And when success comes to you, you're going to pull it in instead of pushing it away. So what action can you take to feel worthy and deserving of success? So what could you do? Maybe you could make a list of why you're worthy and deserving, right? Maybe you could ask someone else why they think you're worthy and deserving. Maybe you could visualize yourself being worthy and deserving, and then receiving what you want to receive. So some type of action. You don't want to say the positive affirmation for your action plan. You want to actually do something. So whatever goal you program in your subconscious mind, what can you do over the next week to really solidify that new pathway in the brain and get the brain to use it so it changes your reality? So you figure out an action plan, you write it down, you do it, you time block it, you make sure it happens. Now, if it's a goal like you want to get in shape and you want to exercise, well, it's going to be an ongoing action plan, right? You're going to keep working out. But if it's just a feeling worthy or deserving, you probably aren't going to have to keep visualizing that for more than a week or so, right? It'll just start to be automatic. Now, for the exercising, for example, if you program yourself for fitness, for health and wellness, for being in great shape, your system is now going to want to exercise and want to make healthier food choices. Now, when you program your mind for success, it's not a one and done. It's not like you do one of these for success and then you're just raving success, or one of these for health and wellness and all of a sudden 25 pounds just fly away, right? It's a continual process of reprogramming the mind. Now, you don't keep reprogramming the same things, you reprogram something similar but different. For example, if you want to go home and you drive home and the road's blocked, what do? You go a different way, right? Well, what if that road's blocked? Hopefully there's another way. What if that road's blocked? Maybe you're stuck, right? Maybe you can't get there. I don't know. So if you think of that example and you want to use it with taking action and reprogramming your mind for success, Let's say you program your mind that you can make $1 million a year with ease, right? And you start doing well and you start being more successful. And then, I don't know, something happens. It just feels like it's not quite right. You're like in that $500,000 a year area and, maybe just not quite going right. So what can you do? Well, program yourself that it's so easy to make 500,000, or it's so easy to make 750,000, right? So stepstone your goals, right? And so the subconscious mind has so many thoughts. It processes about 40 million bits of information per second. So if you program your mind for success and you're not having that success yet, program something similar but not the same. Okay? So, like exercise, like eating right, programming the mind is a day in and day out type of thing. You got to keep up with it, because what happens? Well, maybe you hear something negative on the news and it gets you thinking something negative, which gets you feeling negative, which attracts negative stories, which changes your energy, changes your vibration, and puts you in the place where you're not attracting or manifesting what you want in your life. And so what do you have to do? Well, then program your mind for what you want, how you want your life to be in that moment, and then take action toward it. So it's a continuous process of changing the brain. But I'm just talking little tweaks here and little tweaks there, a program or two a day that takes 5 minutes or less. How powerful that you can now make this course correction instead of just staying stuck in the feeling or the thought or the attitude or the lack. You can turn it around. So psychologists say we have 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, and about 80% of them negative, and about 90% a repeat of yesterday. So how do you get positive with a mind like that? What do? You keep programming the mind for success day in and day out. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, it's like you've got some rose-colored glasses on. Things are looking pretty good. Things are feeling pretty good. Things are changing in your life because you've changed your perspective, you've changed your perception, you're changing how you feel and think and act and react. And pretty soon, you have the life that you want to have, the life you've been hoping to have, the life you've been wishing to have can now be your reality. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you some free resources for programming your mind for success. So if you go to balanceyou.org/free, I have a lot of freebies for you. So the first one is a free 30 minutes with me or my team. And the reason you would want to take advantage of this is because we use applied kinesiology, which is muscle testing. Your body knows all the answers. And you don't have access to this information because it's below the surface. It's subconscious. You don't consciously know it. So that's why sometimes it's hard to make a decision, because you're really not exactly sure what the best decision is. You can make a pros and cons list. You can think about it. You can get advice on it. But deep down, you know the answer. And we can figure out that answer with a muscle test. So if you have some decisions to make, if you want to know what you believe or what you don't believe in regard to your success and your wellness and your happiness and your relationships, we can figure all that out in seconds with a muscle test. We can also help you figure out if you have some subconscious blocks, because there's two things that keep you from your goals. Well, it's all in your mind, right? But it could be a lack of belief, but it also could be a subconscious block. Maybe something happened that's getting in the way of your success. We can figure that all out, again, in seconds with a muscle test. So schedule free 30 minutes with us. We'd love to talk to you and help you get to that success. Also, at balanceyou.org/free, you can get a free month in my transformation group. You can hang out with me on Tuesdays and program your mind for success. It's like group exercise, but for the mind. You don't have to share what you're working on. You just come, bring your goals, keep them private to yourself, and I'll help you work through what you're trying to accomplish in your life. You can join us for free. You can also get free books that I've written there. You can get free workbooks to help you get to this success. So I highly recommend that you go grab these free resources today so that you can start to program yourself for your greatest success. So remember, in this training, we're not talking about having a positive attitude. We're not talking about ignoring your problems. We're not talking about positive affirmations. We're literally talking about changing the brain to create success at a cellular level. So how do you do that? Remember, you got to catch your thought before it hits 17 seconds and make sure it's the reality you want. And if it's not, you've got to change that reality with a new way of thinking. And then you got to ask yourself how you'd rather feel, and you got to program your brain for success. Change your brain with that little brain change exercise I taught you today. So when our clients work with us at Balanced You privately, we track every goal they set. So we work with clients for about an hour, and then a week later, we check with them and all the goals we worked on during an hour. And it's usually about 4 to 5. And we track their progress, and they report what percentage of improvement they've had on their goal since we worked together the week before. And here's what they report. These are our current numbers. They're always changing because we update them every month, but they kind of tend to stay in this realm, in this range, okay? So our clients say for short-term goals, their health and wellness, about 69% of our clients say they're 50% better within a week in their health and wellness goal. Impressive, right? In their professional success, 72% of them say they're 50% improved in their short-term professional success goal. And in relationships, 84% say they're 50% better. Can you imagine that? I mean, I think of all my years of struggle in my relationship, and I think, man, if I had a process I could make it 50% better within a week, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Now, that's not because I'm so amazing. That's because the power of your mind is so amazing. And when you change your brain, you change the printout of your life. So what about long-term goals? Well, here's what our clients report. 42% of them say they have a 50% improvement within a week in their health and wellness goals, long-term health and wellness goals. And then our clients, 66% of them say they've got a 50% improvement within a week in their professional success goals. And in their relationships, long-term relationships goals, 61% say they're 50% improved within just a week of having one session with us. That is the power of your mind. Speaking of power of the mind, on May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister, a 25-year-old medical student, decided he was going to break a world record. He was going to run a sub 4-minute mile. It had never been done before. He believed he could do it. He was getting pretty close. So he got up early and worked at the hospital, did his medical rounds, and he went out to lunch with his friends. And then the reporters met him at the track because he said, today's the day. And guess what? He did. He ran that sub 4-minute mile, breaking that world record. And his record stood for how long? Only 46 days. Why? Because it was now humanly possible. In the past, they thought it wasn't. Your lungs would explode. Your muscles will tear. You can't run that fast. Well, guess what? You actually can. And to date, about 1,400 people have run a sub 4-minute mile. Why? Because Roger proved to them that it was possible. So what's possible in your life? If somebody else has achieved something that you want, that means it's possible. If they haven't achieved what you want, it's still possible. The only limits you have are right here, right between your eyes. And so, what do you want different in your life? What do you want to believe? And what do you want to achieve? Whatever it is, you can have it if you train your brain for success. So remember, in the beginning, we talked about Henry Ford, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Now, I hope you understand now that we've gone through this presentation that this is a whole lot deeper than your conscious thinking. This is your subconscious. This is literally at a cellular level what you believe. And so how do you change that? You change it by catching your thoughts. You ask yourself how you'd rather feel. You do the little brain exercise, program your mind for success, and then you take action. It'll change your reality. So I'm Jenny Harkleroad. I am here to support your success. I want you to live your very best life. It's the reason I got out of real estate, because I wanted to share with the world what happened to me because my life was so hard and then it turned so good. I didn't want to keep that secret. I want to help other people live their best life and create their ultimate success. So today I want you to go to balanceyou.org/free and get something there. Book a free 30-minute call with me or my team. Sign up for a free month in my transformation group. Download one of my workbooks or more. Download one of my books or more. Start learning about the power of your mind and how you can literally change everything in your life with the power of your subconscious mind. You know, they say insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So I hope that today I taught you something new, so you don't have to keep going through having the same day over and over, creating the same results and having the same frustration. I hope you take this new information that you learned and put it to practice. And really the best way to do that is to start using it. And the best way to start using it is with some accountability. So jump on a free call with me, sign up for the transformation group, and let's start working together for your greatest success. I'm Jenny, owner of Balanced You. It's been my pleasure to be here with you today. I wish you all your dreams come true, and I know they can if you program your mind for success. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you soon.